Howdy, this is Jeff, creator of Procedural Lightning. I'm going to show you how to use Spline Lightning. Recently added this to Procedural Lightning, and let's dive right in. So with Spline Lightning, you'll define points very similar to how Path Lightning is done. I'll go ahead and show you on this prefab I've made, the Lightning Bolt Spline prefab. It has all the parameters you're used to from the Lightning Bolt script. Also has the path, which I've set up with these 11 game objects, and it loops back to the beginning. Also has this parameter down here, which is unique to Spline Lightning. What this parameter means is, do you want to use generations to determine the quality of the Spline Lightning, or do you want to set a distance per spline segment? Now this probably, you can read the text there to explain the parameter, but this probably requires a demonstration. So let's set it to 0. And then run the scene. Spline Lightning looks pretty good, and that's because all of my points are more or less the similar distance from each other. However, as that distance changes, if you're using the generations, when you have a small distance, as you can see between points 2, 3, and 4 right here, the distance is pretty small, yet the number of segments is the same, and so they look really close together, and so it provides a different effect than when they're further away. So let me drag this out. And you can see that the lightning segments are bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's because the distance is greater, yet the number of spline segments is the same. So let's go ahead and drag this out really far, and then go change that parameter back to the 2 that I had it at. You can see that that changed the appearance of the lightning. Now this distance per segment, if it's not 0, it will be a hint to the spline generator to say, hey, try and make this the amount of distance for each spline segment. And it's not exact, but it does its best to try and make it approximately what you type in, divided by generations. So if you make generations higher, that's going to look a little bit smaller and nicer. Okay, so let's make this a little bit higher. You can see that it gets more spread out. As you make it lower, it gets a little much nicer. Smaller distance between segments. So that's pretty much it. If you know that your spline points are going to be about the same distance between each other, you could probably leave this at 0 and be fine. If you know that there's going to be some variance between your spline points, some are going to be close, some are going to be far away, you'll probably want to set that to some value that makes sense depending on the scale of your orthographic size or your 3D world. And it'll probably just be trial and error until you find a value that works for you. That's pretty much it for Spline Lightning. Like I said, it works the same as Path Lightning other than this new parameter down here. You can always email me, jjextra@gmail.com. Happy to help you out if you're confused by Spline Lightning. Oh yeah, one other thing you probably want to check out as long as you're doing Spline Lightning. I made a whip here that I've made a demo about, but this uses the Spline Lightning to follow physics. Very cool. Pretty fun whip there that kind of, you can see how the Unity rope physics, the spline follows the joints here. So, you know, the spline has a lot of use cases here. So go to town and have a lot of fun with that. And thanks for watching.